maybe I should ponder about it and maybe I should get a boyfriend. But in my heart, it was burning that this aspiration is going to grow.
Venerable Sumangala holds a master's degree in Industrial and Organizational Psychology from University Kebangsaan, Malaysia. At the age of 39, she left the home life and became an Anagarini, or novice nun. In November 2008, under the sacred Sri Mahabodhi at Bodh Gaya, India, she was ordained as a nun, and in June 2015, she took her higher ordination. Venerable Sumangala obtained an MA in Philosophy, Buddhism from the International Buddhist College, Thailand in 2011. She founded Malaysia's first Theravada Bhikkhuni Nunnery and Dhamma Training Center. Venerable also pioneers and conducts the Ariya Rainbow Kidz program, which promotes holistic family Dhamma education. She has written numerous research papers including Buddhist Women Teachers, Lay and Ordained, Unity of the Three Buddhist Traditions, and Buddhism and the Emergence of Theravada Bhikkhuni in Malaysia and their Contributions. Currently, Venerable Sumangala is the President of Ariya Vihara Buddhist Society and advisor to Gotami Vihara Society. In 2024, Venerable received the Outstanding Women of Buddhism Award in recognition of her contributions to Theravada Bhikkhuni Sangha. In today's Awaken session, we'll take a deep dive into the leadership challenges and how to overcome them from a monastic Bhikkhuni point of view.
Thank you so much for coming here and joining our talk. I would love to actually hear all about you, so I hope that we can hear from you today. I noticed that you have taken psychology, and I was wondering, why did you take psychology?
I think I love to deal with people, and also I love to see people growing. And I think psychology is about people, yeah. And in whatever industry you're dealing with people, I think it's a very important things to know and also skills to acquire.
And I noticed that you are taking a path which is less traveled. You left your home life and to be a novice nun. And why did you choose that path?
Although it's less travel, but it's something important in life that I think is a way of life and is a purpose of life. And when I was in university, actually, I started to learn Buddhism. So from there, when I go to university, first thing that I ask is whether do they have Buddhist society. And every Friday we go to common class, and I never failed to go. Yeah, and until even I graduate, I took the fellowship program while people are going for work. And then I think the most inspirational things that I learned from the Buddha's teaching is that we do all the steps like dana, sila, bhavana, meaning practicing generosity, service, and also virtue. And I think from there, when you do bhavana, especially to cultivate the mind, not only in sitting meditation, but in our daily life, I think that brings a lot of connection, direct connection of the Dhamma. When the Buddha mentioned, when you see the Dhamma, you will see the Buddha. And when you see the Buddha, you see the Dhamma. So I think through that experience, you have great faith that this is the way, this is the path, and this is a way of living. For me, it's quite natural, the way I practice the Dhamma, because as a person, I think the Dhamma doesn't teach us to segregate. It teaches us to be kind, practice our virtue, and skillful. And also, I would say it can be also professional. Yeah. So in whatever things that we do, it helps, to bring up our skills, our knowledge, quality of the mind. Where I think most people would think, when from young we learn from schools or universities, it's only towards materialism. But I think the Dhamma that we learn is to help us not only from physical, mental, but spiritual. But we were very fortunate, that we can learn and we can be able to put it into practice. Even in this modern way of life, we can still practice the way, the truth, and a way of living that leads to happiness, that leads to freedom.
How did your family and your friends actually also take to your decision?
I think about 29. And my mom, one day I visited her in Johor, and she asked me whether I'm going to get a boyfriend. And during that time, I just spontaneously, I answered my mother. I said, maybe one day I'll become a nun, I said. And my mother kept quiet. After 1 week, I received call from my brothers, from my sisters, and she got a bit of like shock. But anyway, I called her back. Since I'm the one that caused her to feel that way, I just telling her that whatever that she has asked me that time, maybe I should ponder about it and maybe I should get a boyfriend. And she laughed immediately. She was happy. But in my heart, it was burning that this aspiration is going to grow. But for her, it takes a while. Of course, they know my character. I'm a very determined person. They know that when I'm determined on something, I will go for it. So after 4 years, I came back from my business trip to China. As usual, we buy things for my mother. And my mother, after this, she said, why you buy so much? After all, one day you're going to go forth. I was so happy that it comes from her mouth. I think a lot of people are very fearful when feel a bit uneasy when your relatives or other people ask why your daughter is not getting married. And now my mother can answer them in a very, comfortable way. I say, she said she wants to go forth. She don't feel shy, she don't feel like pressured because her daughter is different from others. So after 9 years, then of course when I really go forth, my mother still give me an ang pao, 500 ringgit, I still remember, to well-wish me to be a good nun. And even my father too, seeing my mother, offering me an ang pao. I think in Chinese, ang pao means good fortune, to bless us. So he also gave me an ang pao. So I would say throughout that journey, it takes a while sometimes to educate and to convince others that we are walking a path that is good, that is important in life.
And there's another thing I'm also quite curious about is that you took your higher ordination in Indonesia and not in Malaysia. Why is that?
I think because Malaysia is yet to establish, especially we are talking about the Bhikkhuni ordination, higher ordination that involve, that the candidates now are taking a lead into the training of higher virtue, higher mind, and higher wisdom. So it takes those who are experienced, senior Theris means senior Bhikkhunis, and senior monks, Bhikkhu. And also we have to have the logistic. For example, for higher ordination, you need a Sima hall. It's not just any hall, any temple. You need a Sima hall for the ordination. And of course, you need the 4-4 assembly to be supportive of it. And I think in Indonesia, at that time, my teacher, Venerable Santini Mahateri, she has that capacity. And so she has organized it for us. And at that time, there are 9 candidates from different countries that come to the place to take the higher ordination. And quite many senior Bhikkhuni that come. I think the location is quite strategic too, where it's not too far for everybody to come. And it was a very momentous event. It's also first in Indonesia where Bhikkhuni ordination was taken place after probably 1,000 years of silence. At that time, what I would say that all the conditions are there to take the higher ordination in Indonesia.
And I see that you are setting up the first Theravada Bhikkhuni Nunnery Center. What are the challenges that you are, facing in setting this up?
I got this inspiration from our late chief, K. Sri Dhammananda Mahatera. And in 2004, I approached Chief. I asked him, I said, Chief, why didn't you start the Bhikkhuni order in Malaysia? And the late Chief answer is that we should have the four assembly, the Bhikkhu Sangha, Bhikkhuni Sangha, Upasaka, and Upasika. A car must have 4 wheels. Then it will be more stable and can run faster. And then Chief continued. He said, but I'm too old for it. And why? I think that time he was already 85. I mean, it's reasonable for him to say so. But then he said, someone has to lead and come up with a training center, Bhikkhuni training center, and also good training program for the Bhikkhuni. Then he said the Bhikkhuni order will flourish. So having that in mind, I waited for that someone. But then that someone never come. Then in 2005, I already have a first thought to want to go forth. And through that, that inspiration always stay in my mind. Because in Malaysia, we can see everywhere you go, you have monk center, but you don't have Bhikkhuni center. Even if you go to those places and stay, the most 3 months, and realization for the Bhikkhuni Sangha won't happen. And next thing, if you go overseas and you train there, you ended up, living overseas. But Malaysia Sangha won't grow. Yeah, so I think my inspiration at that time also is that if I go to train overseas, I must come back to make this happen in Malaysia. That takes many years, like I said, from establishing as a Bhikkhuni, then working to form the committee and to also bring forth the Dhamma to more people. We started with ARK and gradually more devotees coming in. And then when I have more capacity, then I start to also extend for retreats and having more program for the lay people. So from there, we start to roll out our preparation, of course, to raise fund and to make this a reality. So it has to take a lot of preparation, work, experience, and also I think a lot of confidence that we can make it if we do it the right way. I think the first thing is to practice the Dhamma. And from there, I think that can inspire others to also walk that way. And if they find that it's good, it's fruitful, helpful, I think people will come.
And you're mentioning that it's still some long ways as well. How much, or how long more to that, what you want to achieve?
We should be able to construct the foundation if the building plan is approved in early of the year. And also good news that throughout our 2.5 years, the diligence of still carry on with our fundraising. At least our first fundraising to support the foundation, the building of the foundation, the fund, we managed to achieve. So if everything go on fine with the funding, I think hopefully by 2025, end of 2025, hopefully it will be completed.
And I would say that right now, what would you need from us? What I hear is funds. Is that correct?
It is. You have to dream, but you must also have the fun. So that we hope to invite more and more people to partake this merit to build monastery. And this is not any monastery, but the first Malaysian Theravada Bhikkhuni Nunnery and Dhamma Training Center. And I think this will be a very meritorious project because it's not for our generation only. It will be future generation. And also this will be the first Bhikkhuni Sima in Malaysia. And we foresee not only we can ordain our Bhikkhuni in the future here, but maybe Southeast Asia Bhikkhuni might come to Malaysia for ordination.
Next question I want to ask is about the Ariya Rainbow Kidz program that I've heard a lot of some of my friends are also talking about it as well. I noticed that it's for children and also parents. It's not only the children. Yes. Why do you design it in such a way?
Actually, in the past, I have this task when the Sakyadita conference was held in the Vietnam. And then Venerable Sengkang asked me to present a paper. So I agree. And after that, the topic I gave was, Buddhist teacher, lay and ordained. So I thought, from psychology base, we do a lot of research. So I'm quite good at that. And then when I start to find resources, I couldn't find about this Buddhist teacher, lay and ordained. And then I was like a bit like, what next? Then I make it a point to really understand what is this Sunday schools all about and Buddhist teacher all about. And I took my own expense to really interview, because I want to have that kind of representation. And I found out that children that go to Sunday schools, a lot of them think, it's a torture because every day go to school and Sunday go to school again. The parents just put them there. And a lot of people now even say, Sunday school is like a nanny school where parents can take a break, go for their time for them to have a bit of leisure. And that was a perception from, of course, the children. Yeah? For the parents, it's like, children need to be good. But what about them? They don't go and learn. They just put their children there. And even if they are in the monastery or the temple, they just read newspaper. That was, that kind of mentality. A lot of parents, so-called Buddhist parents. And then for teachers, they're volunteers. And some of them have family, and some of them are working. They really sacrifice to teach in the Sunday school. Some commented that, they don't have the facility. And they also don't have enough assistance. One class can be 30, 40 children. They said sometimes they teach 1 hour. By the time they settle the children, already half hour gone. And so very difficult, because there's no such capacity. So, by looking at that, I was thinking, if I were to start, something to teach them, I need to rectify all this problem. So what we do is that's why we name it Ariya Rainbow Kidz program. When people ask, do you have a Sunday school? We don't have a Sunday school. We say we have a Ariya Rainbow Kidz program. And this program is to reprogram the mind of the parents and also of the children. And if they register, one adult have to come. Means one parent have to come. And we believe that parents who actually bring their children together to learn, they can grow together. Because the parents are the role model. If you want the children to be good, you have to be good. Right? And then some children also will be imitating. What you tell them, they also know, they keep it. But if you don't behave, they can tell you back. So we believe parents have to be a role model. And children, they learn a lot from imitation. What the adults say, they must do. So we have to do all the wholesome thing and abandon those unwholesome. Then when we teach our children, they will follow. So we have the objective of they come together to take refuge in the Triple Gem, to also practice the 5 principles of life, the 5 precepts. And then they have their 1.5 hours to study together or discuss together with their peers. Parents with parents, then junior 1 with junior 1, junior 2 with junior 2. And then at the end, then they have dana together. So we encourage the children to have this act of generosity in giving. So normally they will offer to the Sangha. So they're very happy queuing up to want to put some food into the bowl, and we encourage them. And after the Sangha, we encourage them to also offer to their parents and teachers. Then the last part, only we serve them. So I think we should start something important in life that our children needs to learn how to be respectful, how to serve, so that when they become adult, that is quite automatic in them. Nowadays, if you see, it's always the children were sitting down there, and parents have to serve. When the parents get old, the children grow up, they don't know how to serve. They still think that the parents still have to serve them. So I think this is a bit upside down. We need to start somewhere that we have to encourage our children to learn from very early of their age.
And this is what you meant by reprogramming as well, right?
Yes.
Then when you reprogram, do you also use what you've learned in psychology and kind of put that in as well?
I would say I learned more. The Buddha Dhamma is the most best balm ever, people say. Psychology helps because in a modern term, but I would say the Buddha Dhamma is even greater than that. I used to tell people I graduated from psychology, but I have not graduated from the Buddha Dhamma yet. That will wait until I attain arahanthood.
And according to actually WHO statistics, it showed that actually half of the mental health disorders in adulthood starts by age of 14. And most cases are undetected and untreated. Do you think that the Ariya program, Rainbow program, are able to help parents, especially in this digital age, with this mental health issues?
I would say a lot of people do not understand, especially in the modern way of life. The first 14 years is the most important time in life that a parent should really focus on. When the children go to school, they say, nowadays, a lot of parents, they are working. They think all the techno convenient, so they always subcontract their role as a teacher, as a parent, to others. And this is where the danger is. Children, when they grow up in that kind of environment, they do not know what is the quality of humanity, because they are also treated like another commodity. You can subcontract, put here, put there, and therefore we have time. But we are human, We are human. We have feelings. We have that humanity in us, and we need connection. When the people do not understand this, then the children grow up with handphones. They do not know what is, inter-relationship. They do not know the world in the real sense, because why? What they see is always from digital things. So a lot of parents, I urge that please spend time with the children. We are in the digital age, and we have to know that, if we want to give them the handphone to connect to the world, please make sure that you give them at the right time. Coach them to use it as a functional convenience, but not as a tool to neglect them or for their addiction. And also the danger that it can bring to the family. So the individual can be destroyed, the family can be destroyed, the society can be weakened. So these are very serious things that I think we all have to take note. And as we move on with this, the new technology and with the algorithm that will invade their mind, to get more addiction. And it's very, very important things, I think, in our new age. We have to take note of this.
Ayya, you're being a leader in setting up the first Malaysian Bhikkhuni Nunnery Center, and also which is the Ariya Rainbow Kidz program. How do you balance all this, and how do you move people with this?
I think in the organizing of the monastic program or for the laity, for the families, we need leadership. I think I'm quite fortunate. I'm quite fortunate to have my early trainings in the corporate life, about 15 years, and also in my study. And somehow, when I join some society or whatever, people tend to appoint me to the leadership role. So now as a Bhikkhuni, this is very helpful, as I have a lot of knowledge and skill. And like I say, my passion is to see people grow. And so coupled with, of course, the Dhamma, and we use this as always as a key project objective. Whatever we do it based on the Dhamma. So our duty is to help. Like the Buddha said, if we understand the Dhamma, if we are practicing the Dhamma and we realize the Dhamma, it's also important for us to lead others to the Dhamma. Means to the good things, to the good practices that helps yourself and help others, and overall, of course, help the society. So in this particular leadership role, I think we need, of course, to have a few things that which is important, knowledge. You must also have the skill to lead, and also the experience, and also the openness, to adapt, and also to invite, others to also give us perspective and input. So I think as a leader, although we lead, but at the same time we are with them, And so far I find that that inspires people, and when they see the knowledge that we have, the skill that we have, and the activity that we do, always benefit them. And people say the best thing to teach people is to lead them by example. So we may teach people about Dhamma, but if you don't live by the Dhamma, then people also won't really actually practice the Dhamma. Then we'll be questioning, why are there no more leaders? Because if the leader lead without practicing the Dhamma themselves, then, of course, very difficult to get true leader that actually embrace the Dhamma. So we have to practice the Dhamma, and I think through that practice, when we teach, then it carries a lot of weight. So to practice the Dhamma doesn't mean that all become monks and nuns, but to practice the Dhamma means we live by the Dhamma, means we practice the Dhamma daily. Like for example, our refuge in the Triple Gem, is it really sincere? And then practice the 5 principles of life, the 5 precepts. Are we actually really practicing it? And also then other qualities like loving kindness, compassion, mudita, the altruistic joy, and also equanimity. So all these have to come in. There are many, many good qualities that we can cultivate, and this will inspire others. Because if you talk on, let's say we said value, certain value, it can be Eastern, Western value, very different. But when you talk about, let's say, kindness, it transcends gender, it transcends race, it transcends religion. So we are talking about developing virtue, and it has to be practiced to be an example to others. So I think leadership in this way will help others to really grow. And of course, not only the Sangha have to take the lead, but the lay people also, they take the lead. So we need this kinds of leadership, and people need to know whatever challenges that we have in modern life. It doesn't mean we have to be in, but what we are in is that the Dhamma is in. Dhamma is evergreen, timeless. But things may change, our modern way of using things may change. But how do you adapt this to bring about the truth, about the Dhamma in our life?
What would be actually your advice for people who want to take the road which is less traveled?
What we would advise, the first thing is take refuge in the Triple Gem. Have trust in practicing the way how the Buddha lead us, and also, of course, the Dhamma. So I think importantly, also we have to know the Dhamma, the Buddha Dhamma, and also the Sangha. We must also have the faith of supporting the Sangha so that the Sangha can continue to grow. Secondly, of course, the virtue that we have to really practice, because it's the virtue that makes things shine. And then next one, for liberation, of course, bhavana have to come in. So that's why we say the factors of enlightenment starts with mindfulness, right mindfulness. And then only you talk about the end of it to achieve that equanimity. So we hope that in Malaysia, we all can gear towards that. And hopefully more and more leadership that comes from the young one to step forward, And we need all this so that our Buddhist society can continue to grow for the well-being, happiness, and benefit of the many.
Thank you so much for coming here and sharing with us all the advices and your journey. So thank you very much once again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
You're welcome.